There's a specific way people learn to do a handstand against a wall. They push off it. They catch their balance, lose it, push off again. And slowly, they get better. Except they don't. Not really. What they've actually built is a skill that requires the wall. Take the wall away, and the handstand disappears with it. Ido Portal uses this as a precise description of what most people have done with discipline. Portal is a movement teacher. He's worked with professional fighters, elite athletes, dancers, military organizations, and everyday people across several decades. He's not against discipline. He's spent most of his life inside it. But somewhere along the way, he noticed something. The people who had built the most discipline, who could push through anything, who never missed a session, who hit every target, were still missing something, and they couldn't name what it was. Portal's argument is that discipline and will are not the same thing. They feel similar from the inside, especially under load, but they work differently and they produce different results. Discipline can be built. You develop it through repetition, through forcing yourself across thresholds, through the interior structure that Joe Parvizzi's research at Stanford points to. The anterior mid-cingulate cortex, which thickens when you do things you don't want to do. Every time you override the resistance, that structure gets more accessible. That's real. That's a biological process. Will is something else. Portal's position is that will cannot be developed. It can only be exposed. The distinction sounds small. The implications are not. If discipline is what you build, and will is what gets uncovered, then spending your whole life building discipline doesn't bring you any closer to the will. It might actually pull you further from it, because discipline becomes a bypass. The moment you use it, you've removed yourself from the situation that would have required something more essential. Portal describes what the practice of exposing will actually looks like, and it's almost deliberately anti-dramatic. You wait for a moment when you genuinely don't want to do the task. Not a hard task. A possible one. Arms extended for 5 minutes, a horse stance held past the point of comfort. You catch yourself at the edge, and then you don't push. You don't motivate yourself. You don't put a clip on to get fired up. You relax. You soften. You look for the thread. The thread is what he's after. That fine, evasive sequence where you move toward the thing without forcing it. Where you find your way there the way you'd navigate traffic, by slaloming rather than flooring it. Huberman mentions doing exactly that once, deliberately slaloming his car on the freeway for no strategic reason, just to see what happened. He got to work with more energy than he'd spent. The commute was the same. The experience was completely different. That's Portal's point. Playfulness isn't the soft option. It's a different chemical cocktail. Discipline costs adrenaline, norepinephrine, the catecholamines that run at a metabolic price. Play runs on something else. It opens something that forcing closes. And crucially, it leaves more of you in the room. Discipline narrows. It removes variables. Play keeps the full system engaged. This matters for something Portal returns to throughout the conversation, that what most people call their defaults, the way they move, the way they feel, the way they think, are models. Simulations the nervous system is running, and those models rigidify. They simplify. They lose resolution. The person who was fluid at 10 becomes mechanical at 40, and never quite knows when that happened or how. The practice Portal is describing, this careful exposure of will through small resistances met with softness, is one way to keep the model from hardening, to stay, as he puts it, in motion toward something rather than just powered through it. He's been jet-lagged for the conversation, exhausted, and he mentions it almost as a technical detail. This is exactly when he runs the practice. This is what a tired moment is for.